1986. That means it was a little over 30 years ago. And when I was 12, I was living at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. My parents were divorced, and so I lived during the school year with my mom and stepdad, and during the summer I lived with my dad in Philadelphia. So I, at that point, was just about to enter the part of puberty where I got very confused sexually and gender, all that stuff. So 12 was still a very sweet, innocent age, and I still was very unsure about how to figure out my identity, so I got really obsessed with things. And so this is an example of something I got obsessed with at age 12, and it also displays my inner diva. November 28th, 1986. I watch only one daytime soap opera, and that's As the World Turns. It sounds dumb, but it isn't. In case when you read this, soap operas don't exist anymore, which is pretty impossible. I'll explain to you what it is. Daytime soaps come on every weekday. Most are an hour long. They don't repeat. Primetime soaps come on once a week and are an hour long. All soap operas have many things in common. They are continuing dramas. They never really end. On all soaps, it seems like everyone knows each other in town. There are no TVs. Everyone hangs out in the same place. Many marriages don't work out. I just happen to like As the World Turns because my mom used to watch it when she was my age. It seems to make more sense than other soaps. Every other week I buy Soap Opera Digest for $1.50, which leaves me with no money a lot. I might still have some old copies for whoever is reading this to look at. I used to always think my journal would be published because it's so fascinating. I have included a few pages of information about As the World Turns on the back cover of this journal, unless they fell out over the years. Let's see. Oh, look, they're still here. All right, so As the World Turns, let's see what else is going on next. So then I wrote my own story about As the World Turns. I called it My Own Story of As the World Turns. And the situation is that I had a lot of crushes on a lot of the girls on the show, but I didn't know it. So I wrote this story, and it was about this really cool guy named Mike who entered the As the World Turns environment. And of course, Mike was me, but I didn't know it at the time. So I'm not going to read the whole story because it is really long and really boring. But I thought it'd be cool to share with you just one little example of it. Oh, first I introduced it and said, the story on the previous pages has wandered through my mind a lot before I wrote it down in this journal. At night, I would think out the whole story, and I would continue it every night. How do you like it so far? Oh, and so throughout the book, I'd also put pictures of, like, this is Bruce Willis before he got his haircut and after he got his haircut. How dare he? There's a picture of Dennis Quaid and Michael J. Fox. Where else? I'm looking for my sticky, sorry. So the story that I wrote about, basically this guy, Mike, he had gotten kidnapped when he was 15, and he came back to this town on As the World Turns when he was 25. And his girlfriend in high school was Barbara, and if anybody watches As the World Turns, I don't know if she's still on, but Barbara Ryan. And that was the one who I liked the best. So Mike and Barbara just stared at each other. Finally, Mike said, "Barbara, you're looking good." "You too," she said quietly. "Let's cut the small talk," Mike suddenly said. "Let me give you a hug." Barbara leaped into his arms as if she was waiting for that, and then she said, "I can't believe it's been 10 years. "I really missed you," Mike said. "Mike, you probably know, I've seen some other guys." "That's okay," Mike said. "I'm here now." So, January 1987, I'm writing a letter to Douglas Marland, head writer of As the World Turns. I'm asking him information on how to get passes to see it being filmed. I would see it when we would go to New York to see Grandma and Grandpa. Asterisk. I just called Grandpa, and he said it was okay if I do get an answer back that we can go. Okay. Pictures of kids. All right. Oh, this was potentially going to be very dramatic. March 23rd, 1987. A new soap is on called Bold and the Beautiful. Nationally, As the World Turns was moved to a different time, which means I would miss it, for I would be in school. But luckily, it wasn't changed here. That's that. Looks like this. There. April 29th, 1987. I think I've been watching As the World Turns for 1 year now. I like it better than ever. 3 years ago, I would think anyone who spoke of soap operas were stupid. June 19th, 1987. I missed 2 days of As the World Turns, but Dad recorded them. I had to give up my babysitting money to watch them. I also have to write a letter whenever I watch it. Dad isn't very supportive of soap opera watching. He calls As the World Turns it. Dad is more strict in a lot of ways. He doesn't want us to watch crap like Wheel of Fortune, Dating Game, or Dallas. July 1st, 1987. Yesterday was the daytime Emmys. As the World Turns, who had the most nominations, won 4 Emmys. First, Greg Marks won, Martha Byrne, Larry Brigman, and then The Show! Exclamation point, capital letters. As the World Turns won for the best soap opera. I was thrilled. There were only a couple of problems, and they talked about everybody who lost. And then I have an article about who won, and I circled everybody from As the World Turns. And then my mom sent me articles about it as well. She wrote, I knew you would be really excited, Mom. And, same day. I talked to Dad about how I wanted to visit the set of As the World Turns. I called the president of the fan club. And she said it's impossible to visit the set during filming, but there would be a gathering next April. Dad said as a birthday present he would fly me into New York City so I could go. That would be really cool. And so, believe it or not, April 1988, April 10th, I ate breakfast and we're not leaving until 11:30. What do I do to stall time? I'm getting crazy. Every time I picture myself there, my heart speeds up. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It has to be perfect. Asterisk. I'm dressed. I don't know what else to write, because when I write about the experience, I'll look back on my excitement boringly, because I know I'm doing too much unnecessary worrying. Oh well. I'm calm. Ready to roll. Later, 5:55 p.m. Jesus, it's done! It's hard to believe it even happened, but I met real TV stars. I guess it'll dawn on me tomorrow when I watch As the World Turns. Anyway, it was definitely worth it. And then I wrote about it for about 8 pages.